Next we move over to constants. So what are constants? They are applicable to values that do not change during the execution of a program. So this value, the value that this constant holds, is going to remain the same. It cannot be changed according to the user's need. Once you give a value to a constant, it is going to hold that value till the program completes its execution and gives the result. So they are classified into numeric constants and character constants. Under numeric constants you have integer constants and real constants, and under character constants you have single character and string constants. Most of them you can identify from the name itself. So let us first look at the rules governing integer constants. They have to be a sequence of numbers from 0 to 9. They are integers, so they cannot have decimal points or fractions. They have to be whole numbers. The storage that is required for this integer constants is a minimum of 2 bytes and a maximum of 4 bytes. They can be positive or they can be negative. If no sign is mentioned, it is by default taken as positive. Now these are the examples. You can have -15, you can have +30, you can have simply 10. Simply 10 indicates it is a positive value. Only thing we have to remember is they have to be integer numbers. They should not contain any decimals. Now we come to the concept of these real constants. The real constants are nothing but floating point. Floating point means after division there will be a remainder value, and they are expressed in this exponential notation. That is, they have two parts, a fractional part which is also called the mantissa and an exponential part. Now here is an example for that. We have a number 3478.12. So because it is having a decimal, it is indicated that it is real in nature. So that can be written as 3.478 into e to the power +3. Now there are certain rules which govern this mantissa as well as this exponential part. Now if you will see this mantissa, it can be a decimal or it can be an integer. So here we are taking it from this number and expressing it in the form of an exponential part. So you can see the difference. This 3.478 into e to the power +3 is equivalent to this number 3478.12. So this is the fractional part and this is the mantissa. So the mantissa should be a real number. It can either be a decimal or it can be an integer. The exponent has to be an integer. You cannot have a decimal number in this part. It has to be a whole number. And that e can be written either in the uppercase or in the lowercase. Now these are the rules that are governing this real constants. So they have to be floating point in nature. They need to have two parts where the mantissa can be a real but a decimal or an integer. The exponent has to be an integer. It can be positive or negative, and you have e which can be depicted in the upper or the lower case. So these are the rules that have to be remembered when we express numbers in the real constant form. Next we are having these character constants. In this we have two types, single character and string constants. So single character constants, they can be digits, they can be special symbols, or simply a space is also a single character. But we should always remember that it should be within single quotes. Whenever the compiler sees any letter or symbol within a single quote, it takes it as a character constant, as a single character constant. So here I have given an example. It can be a letter or a digit. Next you are having string constants. String constants, where you are having a sequence of characters enclosed within double quotes. You are having a combination of all kinds of symbols. In single character, there is a single quote and only a single symbol inside it, either a letter or a digit. In string constants, you are having both letters as well as digits, and they are enclosed within double quotes. So that is the difference between the two. Whenever the compiler sees a single quote, it takes it as a single character constant. Whenever you have a double quotes and letters enclosed within it, it takes it as string constants. Here again you can have letters, digits, special characters and all kinds of symbols. It is permitted in these character constants. Next we move over to variables. Variables, I have already used this term before. A variable is any name that is used to hold a value. It is somewhat similar to an identifier, but these variables are most commonly used in the program, as it is easier for users to use variables and give them names, though they may not have any meaning in the program. It is up to the user's choice to define a variable that can hold a value. And we can remember that a value can be changed during program execution. It has to be assigned different values at different times during program execution. Now you will see the difference here between a variable and a constant. A constant has to have a fixed value in the program which cannot be changed. A variable's value can be changed during program execution, and it may be declared according to the meaning of the operation. For example, as I said, if you are going to perform addition, you can have sum as a variable because the addition of two numbers is called a sum. So that is up to the user's choice. So variables and constants are totally two different things. A constant's value remains the same and a variable's value can be changed during program execution. Now these are the rules for defining variables. Again, they begin with character without spaces. Underscore alone is permitted. The length of a variable should be 8 characters normally, including the extension. I have given an example here, but certain versions of C permit up to 31 characters. It should not be a keyword. It should not start with a digit. It can be of a lowercase or an uppercase letter. So all these are most commonly used, and once you start using identifiers, obviously the same rules almost hold good for the variables as well.